maybe some round, I don't know the bracket stuff, end of losers, basically the end to get into top cut. And who we got? Oh, Eddawg versus Infest. Okay. That is a true statement. So Eddawg, fairly new Bayo who just kind of popped up on the scene. First actually came to Smash to Pieces, had no idea who they were, got 5th their first event. And ever since then has just been showing us that Bayo is in fact a force to be reckoned with when piloted by someone who knows what they're doing, as we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I saw like 50 to something. Just already like off to a dog literally just got one. Kind of a slobber dog.
Yeah, it's I've never seen I've never seen whenever I don't know a matchup, I try not to spread misinformation, which is something I know people hate when commentators do. So I'm not going to try and pretend like I know stuff about this because I've never actually seen this matchup. But what I'm imagining is that because Bayo obviously has the crazy combo game. Oh, but getting caught. I mean, so was that bad DI or is that just Ice Climber's up air? Because Ice Climber's up air is pretty strong.
I think it's a combination of like a thing. I think Bayonetta is also like deceptively
true
character. That was one of like the running that stock over back here. This is pretty tit for tat. So.
Yeah, and that was like a kind of lingering. It was interesting because that hitbox like lingered on shield and it was like hit the shield, but then was still able to hit Popo. I don't know how active Bayo back air is, but I usually thought Bayo back air was kind of a little finicky, hard to actually get that sweet spot.
Yeah, I do see a lot of Bayos go for back air in that specific scenario, so it might have more active frames than it's on, but ooh, okay. Infest trying to get something to start with the footstool. Unfortunately, going to get Bayo comboed for his troubles.
And it's interesting seeing the Bayo combos. I was really going to be looking for how the separation might occur when Bayo gets into her combo strings, but kind of seeming so far at least that when comboing Ices, it's mostly just kind of finding them together and just being like all their hits almost like they're one character. Haven't seen a separation combo yet, which is obviously...
Oh my goodness, gets the up smash out of shield there, dang.
That was crazy.
Was not expecting that, but just Hail Mary out of nowhere.
Yeah, just landing on the platform, be able to... I don't know if that was just a buffered option, knowing that he was going to be able to get that out. That was kind of nuts.
Yeah, I will say Bayonetta tends to be like pretty laggy after a lot of her strings, especially if she does both ABK and Witch Twist in the air. Like, after she lands, she's going to have a lot of lag. So, Infest probably taking advantage of that and taking this lead and milking it for all it's worth right now.
Yeah.
Eddawg already sitting like...
About not lapped, but in very, very dangerous, certainly within kill. Yeah, and that's going to be a...
Unfortunately, the Giant Fist not connecting and going to get up smash for his struggles. Infest X game 1.
Yeah, and that was, is interesting because I wouldn't even say that was super convincing per se, because like Eddawg was definitely able to get stuff started with all the Bayo things, and like whenever controlling neutral and just having the damage state looked great. But there's just some weird interactions, maybe some matchup check stuff there in terms of not knowing what is and isn't safe and what he could go for in terms of extending his strings. Like getting caught, especially with that up smash on the platform. I do not think he was expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, again, Ice Climbers is like super duper like low profile characters, and switching into the Aegis, okay.
I don't know about this. I mean, definitely, I think that has got a fundies... is definitely a fundies player. It's not just a pure specialist. And I do know that this matchup is pretty good for Aegis. So we'll have to see. Because Aegis is one of those characters that everyone's fought a lot of them, kind of knows the game plan. There's not a lot of hidden stuff, right?
Right, whereas Ice Climbers, on the other hand, you're not going to have a lot of these players, but I swear, like, the few Ice Climbers players that, like, there are out there, like, they got some stuff in their sleeve. They got some... They got some tricks. Getting walled out with the Ice Breath right now.
Interesting with Pyra, like at this percent, like even though Ice Climber's ahead, Pyra almost doesn't really care because just one down air up smash away, or like a lot of the ridiculous confirms and ridiculous hits that Pyra has. Getting that separation.
Oh, all right, not going to go in and try to take advantage of Nana being on.
I would have gone for it, but I don't know. Maybe just wanted to play a little more conservative.
And I understand, like, probably feel pretty threatened. Oh my goodness, Nana just fighting right there.
She was going for it there at the very end. She was like, "No, you've killed my brother. I shall make you pay."
You killed my mans.
Everyone, yeah, and her movement looked kind of funny. It just looked like she was jumping up there trying to get revenge. So, all right, maybe the counter pick. All right, getting up smash, but still, this actually, if I'm being honest, this feels about the same as game 1 in terms of closeness.
I think, like, and I'm gonna say it, like, it's been pretty back and forth, both between last game and this game as well. I feel like there's not really ever a solid advantage between the two. They just keep going back and forth. But
Go to ledge.
side recovery.
Okay,
Throwing it
that's
out again.
throwing that out doesn't.
Oh, the desyncs! They're coming out!
Yeah, kind of put himself in a pretty bad situation with that random up B on stage, but was able to get out with only a little bit of kind of extra chip damage.
Starting to see more of those desyncs coming into play, not just for the combos, but also for the zoning and neutral. Pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely one of those things where you have to put in the time to be able to know when to execute it and how to execute it. Down tilt is such a freaking brutal move. I saw that a lot at Cascadia Clash, just watching Big D's play. Just made me realize how nasty that move actually is. It just, the angle's terrible. The 2-frame ability of it is really good. It's rough. Very good move.
And like the thing that like a lot of people are like struggle to kind of like acclimate to is that all of Ice Climber's aerials, ooh, there goes Nana.
Yeah.
But all of Ice Climber's aerials, and just moves in general, all are more active because there are 2 characters throwing them out.
Yeah, you gotta
So
respect it.
So it's like you get back air from Popo, and then slightly after you get it from Nana as well. So it's like it's that much more active, which makes them a lot more threatening and good at covering space, which I think a lot of people fail to consider when playing against this character.
All right, got him.
Got him. Sopo hanging on to the stock and getting some damage. Ooh, okay. Got their double back air. All right. This Sopo kind of nice.
Yeah, move. Someone outside was earlier comparing Sopo to Roy, saying it's just a bad Roy, which I think is kind of hilarious.
It's just melee Roy, but no ultimate.
Which I kind of like.
Ooh, yeah, that's a matchup check. That's also a matchup check. Oh my goodness.
This is really painful for every little chip of extra damage onto Pyra at this point. And Pyra+Mythra, you know, they're not super light or anything, but they're definitely not heavy. They don't have a super heavy stock tank ability, so really needs to clear this out before getting to over 100%.
Yeah, definitely needs to find the stock. Pyra definitely not a stranger to comebacks, especially with that insane kill power, but needs to find the stock if you want to be in a good position. And another thing to point out, I noticed that this game is kind of starting to slow down. There is like a little over 2.5 minutes. And I think that's definitely Eddawg trying to like work his way into this matchup a little bit more. Probably learning on the fly. Oh my goodness, that desync pressure. What do you do?
I don't know. And here comes...
He's just stuck there. They're both just standing there.
Yeah, there's definitely an element of psychological ice warfare that comes with fighting these characters when you're starting to see the desyncs happen to you.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, you're dead. Absolutely dead.
I guess the up tilt up air, the classic with the Ice Climbers. I was going to take that, but honestly, all things considered, I think that was, like, both games are pretty close. Well, first game was close until Infest got a lead, but that second game was definitely a lot closer. I don't actually think it was because of the counter pick more than it was, like, Eddawg kind of just figuring out the matchup a bit more. But
yeah, I'm curious. I'm trying to think of the tournaments since Eddawg has only more recently been starting to attend more and more stuff. I'm trying to think of their experience with Ice Climbers, like, and I don't even know if they have any. Like at Infest, like Infest being a well-known veteran Ice Climber player, like I don't really think they played against them, and the ultimate matchup check character.
I do know we have Bop. Bop is another Ice Climbers player we have.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, they're both pretty good, as I swear Ice Climbers players tend to be. But yeah, that said, we have like maybe 2. And I'm not sure if I like. They tend to not attend events super frequently outside of like SOA, as far as I know.
Right.
So definitely not gonna have a lot of exposure to that if you're not in that area a lot. But
Well, it was one thing I hate to see is when people are on their main, they lose game 1, and it's fairly close, and then they swap off to a secondary, and then just get trounced. You hate to see it, but it was good to see that looked like an Aegis that at least Eddawg has been working on and was like practiced to a degree where it still was kept very close and didn't feel like some kind of, I don't know. Sometimes the secondary pick just feels like not a throwaway, but it just feels like, oh, I guess whatever, I'll go my secondary.
yeah, I mean, I think for what it's worth, there is some merit in that counter pick specifically, because I think with Bayo, the way you have to approach like that matchup and matchups in general, I'm sure, is probably not as like, it's a little bit more complex than say Aegis.
Right.
I think Aegis, it's like you can play that character in a pretty like simple, like basic way. Not to say that it's like easy. I'm just saying like you can kind of like
Yeah.
simplify how you try and break down the matchup, and I think that can help a lot.
Your game plan is pretty fundies based, pretty just like you have your combo routes for Mythra. Although it was pretty much all Pyra. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was like almost exclusively Pyra.
Yeah, no,
Which is interesting.
it might have to do with the fact that like maybe Eddawg was like kind of struggling to find stocks, and that was clearly evident like game 1 where he couldn't seal out that that second stock. And well,